At dinner, my family mocked me. What's it like being the ghost at the feast? Everyone laughed. I stood up and said, "This ghost owns your throne now, and I'm done paying for your crown." The moment those words left my mouth, everything shifted. What's it like being the ghost at the feast, huh? The laughter hit me like a slap. My fork froze midair. Their faces, familiar and grinning, blurred in the dim dining room light, wine glasses clinking, smugness dripping from every word. "Come on, Levi, don't sulk, we're just playing." That was Rachel, my older sister, late 30s, lipsticked smile. She's always been good at performing kindness with a knife in hand. "A ghost who keeps paying for the meal," I said quietly. They didn't hear it, or pretended not to. Dad laughed, low and gravelly. "You're still upset about the house? For God's sake, Levi, it's family. We share things." I stood. And this time, loud and clear. "This ghost owns your throne now, and I'm done paying for your crown." The room fell silent, like someone had cut the power. Who I am. I'm Levi Carter, 26, accountant, quiet, the one who always says yes, pays the bills, bites his tongue. I sat through 20 years of family dinners like that, watched the others play royalty while I scrubbed the kitchen floors behind them. I wasn't just the youngest, I was the buffer, the fixer, the peacemaker, the invisible support beam for their crumbling facade. And tonight, I snapped. Meet the family. Harold Carter, dad, 66. Retired Navy, hard man, took pride in control of everything. Signed my name on things without asking, called it family trust. Rachel Carter, sister, 38. Attorney, sharp, always calculating. She once borrowed $15,000 from my college fund to pay off a mistake. No apology. Tommy Carter, brother, 33. Charming, irresponsible, failed business twice. I co-signed his last loan. He defaulted. Mom, Linda, 64. Sweet but silent. Let Dad's word become gospel. Sometimes I wonder if she ever really saw me. "You knew I didn't approve the second mortgage, right?" I said, scanning their faces. Blank stares. Dad signed it with my name. Rachel notarized it. Tommy used the cash. And Mom, you just watched. No one spoke. I've been making the payments for 2 years, quietly, so we wouldn't lose the house. Tommy cleared his throat. "We were gonna tell you." "When? When the foreclosure notice came?" Rachel scoffed. "It was temporary. You're better with money, Levi. You could afford it." I nearly laughed. "That's not sharing. That's stealing." The silence was almost reverent, as if the walls themselves were stunned by what I said. Dad's hand froze around his glass. His knuckles whitened. Tommy blinked like he'd just woken from a bad dream. Rachel sat back in her chair, crossing her arms like a verdict had been passed, but she refused to honor it. "You think you're better than us now?" Dad growled. "Just because you make a decent living?" I didn't flinch. "No," I said. "I think I finally understand what I'm worth. That's the difference." His glass hit the table harder than it needed to. The ice inside it cracked like old bones. "You're still my son," he said. And this was still my name on that mortgage, my credit, my money, my silence. I pulled out a folded document from my jacket pocket, the property deed transfer, still crisp. I slid it across the table like a winning hand. "The house transferred last month, after you missed another payment." Mom gasped. Her fork slipped from her hand and clattered against the plate. The sound snapped Tommy out of his fog. "Wait, what does that mean?" he said, looking from Rachel to Dad to me. "It means," I said, locking eyes with Rachel, "this house belongs to me now, legally." Rachel's lips parted. But no sound came, just disbelief, stalling into rage. "You're bluffing," she spat. "I'm not," I said, and I smiled, not out of cruelty, but survival. "I let you all stay because I thought maybe, just maybe, you'd change, but I won't bankroll your chaos anymore." The walls creaked as if they too were tired of holding this family together. "So what now?" Tommy muttered, hands in his lap like a kid in trouble. "You kicking us out?" I paused. "No, I'm walking away. The difference is, this time, I'm not leaving my wallet behind." I still remember the night I declined UCLA. I was sitting on the back porch holding the acceptance letter, fingers numb in the winter air. Dad was in the hospital. Stroke. Mom was crying in the kitchen. Rachel didn't call. Tommy was off somewhere pretending not to care. I folded the letter once, then again. Then I burned it in the ashtray. A quiet decision. The kind that costs you everything but looks like nothing. The next year blurred. I worked nights, studied between hospital shifts, paid bills Rachel wouldn't touch, sold my car so Tommy could cover rent for his failing startup, made dinners Mom was too numb to make, learned to say it's okay when it wasn't. I gave and gave and gave. "You're so dependable, Levi," Mom once said, pressing a hand to my cheek. "We never worry about you." That was the moment I realized I wasn't the favorite. I was the insurance policy. The dining room felt colder now. Maybe it was the draft slipping through the cracked window frame. Maybe it was the rot under all this polished wood. "You all talk about loyalty," I said slowly. "But I know the truth." Rachel's eyes flicked up, sharp. "What are you talking about?" I reached into my folder again and placed another sheet on the table. This one was older. A life insurance policy, dated, signed, witnessed. "Dad took out a secret life insurance policy," I said. "In Mom's name. Guess who the sole beneficiary is?" Mom looked confused. "What?" "Rachel," I said. "Not Mom, not even split among the family, just Rachel." The room fractured. Mom's hand went to her mouth. Dad's jaw clenched so tightly I thought he might bite through it. "Levi, shut your damn mouth," Rachel snapped, standing now. I stood too. "No, not this time." Tommy squinted at the document. "Wait, Rachel, why you?" "It's a financial structure," she began, but Tommy cut her off. "The hell it is. You told me you were broke when I asked for help." "Because I was. That policy isn't—" "You signed it the same week. I asked for a loan," I said. She froze. Her mouth opened, then closed. "You lied to all of us," I said, "and Dad helped you." Dad finally spoke, voice low, cracked like dry bark. "It's not your business. You made it my business the moment you forged my name and bled my accounts dry. There it was, the empire of lies, collapsing like a card house in a storm." Rachel grabbed her coat. "I don't have to stay here for this," she muttered. "I don't answer to you." "No," I said. "You never did." She stormed out, heels like thunder across tile. Tommy followed a minute later, confused and quiet, like a man walking out of smoke. Mom remained. She sat at the edge of her chair as if the floor might collapse. She didn't cry, but she looked hollowed. "You've broken this family," Dad finally said, his voice barely audible. I didn't yell, I didn't flinch. "No," I said. "You broke it. I just stopped holding the pieces together." And for the first time in my life, he didn't argue. He just sat there, a relic of a man who'd ruled with silence and fear, now surrounded by the ghosts of his own making. The next morning, the house was quiet, not peaceful, just drained, like a battlefield after the smoke clears. I packed a single suitcase, took only what I'd paid for, left the keys on the dining table on top of the deed. Mom was standing by the door. "Levi," she said softly. "I didn't know about the policy, I swear." I nodded. "I believe you." She reached out, fingers barely brushing my arm. Her eyes were glassy. "I failed you," she whispered. "I know," I said. "But maybe now, you'll finally see me." She blinked fast and nodded. I stepped out into the sunlight. It was gentle, the kind of warm that tells you a storm has passed. I didn't look back. 6 months later, the ocean outside my San Diego apartment whispers every night like a lullaby I forgot I needed. My office is small. The clients are kind. Honest work, honest hours. Rachel wired me half of what she owed, with interest. She didn't say sorry. That's fine. Money's a language, she speaks better. Tommy went to rehab, stayed. He texts sometimes, just memes. That's how we talk now. Dad sent a letter, no apology, just a weather update, a note about the dog, a reminder to eat well. That's the closest thing I'll get, and that's okay. Mom calls every Sunday. No agenda, just, "How are you, honey?" And me? I sit by the ocean sometimes, watching the sky melt into the waves and think, maybe I was never the ghost. Maybe I was just waiting to live. If you've ever been the ghost at someone else's table, unseen, unheard, used, this story is for you. What would you have done in Levi's shoes? Would you walk away, confront them, try to fix it? Tell your story in the comments. Let's talk. Let's heal. Don't forget to subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more powerful, real-life inspired stories that hit home. And remember, sometimes stepping away isn't weakness. It's how you begin again.